Real estate tycoon, reality TV star, president of the United States. He's been all of these things, right? But how did all those pieces actually fit together? Today, we're not just looking at Donald Trump the man, we're going to deconstruct the entire Trump phenomenon. We're going to try to understand how a brand became a movement and how a mobile became one of the most consequential figures of our time. So that's the big question, isn't it? How did a real estate guy with absolutely zero political experience end up in the Oval Office? To really get that, to understand the journey, we've got to go back, way back, before the rallies, before the slogans, to see how the whole foundation was built. You see, before he was a political figure, he was a businessman. And that story, it doesn't start in Washington. It starts in the boroughs of New York City, with a family business and a whole lot of ambition. I mean, look at this. You've got all the classic ingredients for success right here. He's born into a real estate dynasty, gets an elite business school education, and then, boom, takes over the family company at just 25 years old. He wasn't starting from scratch, not by a long shot. He was basically given a launch pad. The real question was, where was he going to point the rocket? And this was his first major pivot. He didn't just want to keep doing what his father did so successfully, building middle-class housing. Nope. He was aiming for something totally different. The high-stakes, high-glamour world of Manhattan skyscrapers. You could say it was a strategic shift from steady and pragmatic to big, flashy, headline-grabbing spectacle. But that high-flying ambition pretty quickly collided with reality. The economic downturns of the late 80s and early 90s, they hit his empire hard. We're talking corporate bankruptcies, massive debt. For a lot of people, this would have been a total career ender. But for Trump, it turned into this pivotal lesson in branding. He learned something really crucial from that near collapse. Buildings, well, they could falter, but a powerful name, a name could be recession-proof. He realized the name Trump itself could be his single most valuable asset. So he rolls out this three-pronged strategy to build that name into a global brand. First, the art of the deal makes him this kind of guru of success. Then, The Apprentice makes him a primetime pop culture icon. And finally, licensing deals start stamping his name on everything from hotels to steaks, making it a worldwide symbol of luxury and power. And this single phrase, "You're fired," this was the absolute pinnacle of that strategy. It was so much more than a TV catchphrase. It was beamed into millions of homes every single week, and it cemented this public image of him as a tough, decisive, no-nonsense leader. This wasn't just entertainment. It was mass-market brand building on a scale we'd never really seen before. So now, with a brand that's recognized all over the globe, he's ready for his biggest, most audacious venture yet. He was going to take the Trump brand to a brand new arena, national politics. And you better believe he was going to do it entirely on his own terms. This number right here is absolutely crucial to understanding his political appeal. 0. That's how much experience he had in elected office or the military. In almost any other era, this would have been a fatal flaw. But in 2016, he masterfully spun it into his greatest strength. He positioned himself as the ultimate outsider, the guy who was ready to come in and just smash a broken system. And this timeline, it just highlights how unconventional his political career has been. This wasn't some slow climb up the political ladder. It was a direct, explosive launch right into the presidency, and after a single, pretty tumultuous term, he's now charted a course back to power, a path that only one other president in all of American history has ever successfully walked. And once he was in office, his administration moved fast to push its America First agenda. This meant rewriting trade deals, slashing taxes and regulations to juice the economy, appointing a ton of conservative judges to reshape the courts, and taking a really hardline stance on border control. Every single one of these moves was designed to fundamentally disrupt the status quo, and man, did it spark both fervent support and fierce opposition. And that disruption? Well, it brings us to the very core of his public identity. This outsider approach, combined with his sweeping policy changes, it just carved one of the deepest and sharpest divides in modern American life. You know, it's impossible to tell his story without acknowledging the cloud of controversy that has followed him at every single step. From his early business dealings all the way to his final days in the White House, his entire career has been defined by legal battles, ethical questions, and just intense political warfare.
And this is the result. You get two completely different, totally irreconcilable views of the same person. Where his supporters see a bold, norm-breaking leader who's willing to take risks, his critics see a reckless figure with a total disregard for ethics. Where one side sees a patriot putting America first, the other sees a demagogue using polarizing rhetoric to divide the nation. It just shows that people weren't just debating his policies, they were seeing a fundamentally different reality.
Okay, so we've looked at the mogul, the brand, and the politician. How do we put all these pieces together? What is the core formula that actually defines the Trump phenomenon?
Ultimately, it's this unique cocktail. It's not just a story about business, or media, or politics alone. It's about the fusion of all three. He used the promotional genius of a marketer and the commanding presence of a reality TV star to build and fuel a powerful anti-establishment political movement. In his rise, it really reveals a seismic shift in modern politics. The old rules just don't seem to apply anymore. He proved that in our media-saturated age, a masterfully crafted public image and a dominant media presence can be way more powerful than a lifetime of traditional political experience.
And that leaves us with a critical question for the future, doesn't it? As the lines between celebrity, business, and political power just keep getting blurrier, what does it now take to be a leader?